All right, it's time now for Ask the Expert. Ovarian cancer is one of the most deadly cancers for women, claiming more than 14,000 lives each year here in the U.S.
And unfortunately, many women don't seek help until the disease has begun to spread, but it is detected and can be at its earliest stages, and that changes your survival rate. So joining us live this afternoon is Dr. Scott Camille, a gynecologic oncologist with Aurora Healthcare. So Dr. Scott, give us the sense here. What is ovarian cancer?
So ovarian cancer is cancer of the ovary, but any part of the ovary can develop cancer. There's actually more than just one part. But when we refer to ovarian cancer, it's usually the lining of the ovary or the covering of it, if you will.
Okay, so what are some of the signs, symptoms that women should look out for before it gets to a progressive stage?
Well, the problem with ovarian cancer is that it really doesn't have a definitive sign and symptom. They're somewhat vague. So we often refer to things like bloating or any type of abnormal bowel activity that's been persistent for a week, some type of pain that's in your abdomen area that's been persistent for longer than a week. These type of things usually would prompt you to go to your primary care physician. But again, unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily lead you to my office or to your gynecologist's office. Oftentimes it leads you on paths that are unrelated. So the symptoms, unfortunately, again, are somewhat vague.
So I just want to know, can a pap smear lead you to the right direction in finding out whether or not ovarian cancer is something?
Very rarely. So a pap test, unfortunately, is not going to be a sensitive test to pick up ovarian cancer. And in fact, most of the modalities we have to look for ovarian cancer, like ultrasounds and formal pap smears, are just not that good.
How about genetic testing?
So family history is probably an area that's shown some progress. And if we talk about what you can do to worry about ovarian cancer or detect it, it's to really go through your family tree. And if you have a first-degree relative, like your mother or your sister, who had early onset breast cancer or who had ovarian cancer, that would prompt you to go to your primary care physician and sit down with a genetic counselor. And that counselor then would quantify your risk of ovarian cancer and decide whether you need a blood test.
So this is why it's always important to have that yearly visit to the doctor, or maybe even twice a year, but at least that one physical, don't you think?
Absolutely, and not only your primary care. I mean, many women, when they're done childbearing, quit going to their gynecologist altogether.
I see.
And I think that formal exam, while it's not something that they look forward to, but it's a necessary part of the formal healthcare maintenance.
Oh, it could be worse. You can go to the dentist.
Right.
So, but the last thing, what's the most important thing you want to get across to women when it comes to talking about ovarian cancer?
I mean, I think that these symptoms, if they are vague and shouldn't be ignored, I mean, that's what usually happens. People ignore certain changes in their body that have persisted for longer than a week, and they really don't make the effort, possibly out of fear, possibly out of just self-reassurance that it's nothing, but they really should go visit their gynecologist. And also, like I was saying, if they have a family history, go through your family history, know your family history, and if you're worried, touch base with your medical professional and find out if you need to sit down with a genetic counselor.
Okay, hopefully you have a graphic on this, but on October 17th, you have a walk-run coming up, so don't forget about that. I think we'll post more information on our website, but that's coming up on October 17th. All right, so if you have a question for our experts, email them at asktheexpert@today'stmj4.com. You can also leave a voicemail. The number is right there.